thankful to Team IDEA and team at Nepal, which is also organizing the Nepal Fintech Festival and making this a wonderful session, meet and greet, as well as engaging session to share our great initiative in South Asian markets together. So, as the host of the event or the moderator of the event, I take pleasure in inviting each one of you. And thank you for all your time on a Good Friday, on a holiday, and taking out your valuable time. So, my name is Babu Nair, and I am the publisher of a magazine called as Banking Frontiers, which I have been doing for last 22 years now. And currently, I am based out of Canada in North America. Again, with the media platform called as Financial Technology Frontiers, which also I run here. This is the North American version of Banking Frontiers, and we work a lot with fintechs to help them to market access with the banks and financial institutions in different countries, understand their technologies, gaps, and the kind of white spaces, and try to extend collaborations and build ecosystems for fintech and financial services together globally. So this is what I do. I would request each one of you to have a small introduction of yourself as in when I call you just before the session, because I think we will be having a little difficulty with the time with so many people. So just before you start off, you just give a small brief of yourself, and then we start off with the questions. But before we start this session, I would like to thank IDEA for being the greatest platform to bring all of us together and make it possible. Alexander, Amor, and Oliver have been working really hard to put this thing together. And what a great set of speakers we have today. So I think we have some of the best minds to come and think for IDEA together. And I would now like to invite Amor to make a short welcome address, after which we will start the session.
Good evening to everyone, and indeed, happy Good Friday to all of you. We couldn't possibly miss this and address what is 25% of the world's population. 2 billion of the world's population live in South Asia. And we cannot talk about global majority, global South, global majority without this very important region. I would like to thank our founding partner our founding partner Sanjeev, who we wish we could be with during his first ever fintech festival. We know how nerve-wracking mounting something like this could be, but know that every 92 member partner of IDEA is behind you all the way. And this bringing attention to South Asia is just the beginning of our work. Now, I don't want to talk about South Asia because all the experts are here, but I wanted to use this as an opportunity to actually thank all of you for the incredible service that you've done to the community, for the community, in behalf of our board, of which we are very happily represented by our board member, Jatin Durji, who is here right now. I'd like to tell you very briefly that we just came from our home in the global majority, which is Hong Kong, and we're putting together a few things together with our other co-founder and a board member, Paul Lee. We're setting up a network of professionals who are helping individual companies to expand to the rest of the world. So whether it's, and we're starting off with China, Hong Kong, and Africa. We hope to be able to do the same under the leadership of the South Asia Committee to introduce South Asia to the rest of the regions. Second thing we're about to roll out will be our IDEA Academy, where those who choose to actually teach will become part of a professional pool of instructors who will be paid for each of the class that they choose to teach to the rest of the community. We are about to sign verifiable certificates, no? So there is an association on digital identity. But I don't want to preempt that because that is happening, I believe, over the next few days. And all of our classes and webinars beginning May 2024 will be on chain and will carry verifiable certificates to create value for all of us. Last but not the least, out of South America, we are working towards a global majority payment gateway led by our partners in South America, specifically Brazil. And if you would like to be part of this initiative, so whether it's the Global Payment Majority Gateway, the second would be our executive professional classes. If you'd like to teach, um, please do let us know. We're always here for the service of the leaders because, as we say, where one goes, we all go. Maraming salamat po. Have a good night.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amor, for this wonderful conversation. And I'm really grateful and thankful to you for starting off this wonderful note for this conversation. And this sets a wonderful tone for the great work that IDEA has been doing. You have highlighted so many things, encapsulated so many things in such a brief time. I'm really happy for that, and we would all love to contribute whatever best way we can into this initiative. Now let us get into the speakers and the participants here. And from what I can see here in this entire set of speakers, we would start talking to each one of the experts who would try sharing with us their initiatives and interesting conversations which they will bring forward to IDEA. Uh, uh, while I wait for the teams from Syed Irfan Ali, Lowell Campbell, Syed Irfan Ali from Pakistan, I could probably start off this conversation with Mr. Jatinder Handu. Jatinder, very good morning to you. Good
Hi, good
evening,
evening. This is I am based out of New Delhi, so we have
New
a evening
Delhi.
over
So
here.
very good evening to
Yeah,
you, and hope things are very good.
absolutely.
If you can give a very brief introduction of yourself, followed by which we will start this conversation.
Oh, absolutely. I represent Unified FinTech Forum, formerly known as Digital Lenders Association of India, and which is a national level, robust association of FinTech firms, FinTech entities in India. So that's about me. I am also part of co-founder of IDEA, and I'm also co-founder of IDEA and a board member. And as Amor has already spoken about IDEA, but just to give a little perspective, it's a kind of a global movement dedicated to further digital economies of member nations through broad collaborations around knowledge sharing and representing majority of world's population in global south. So and there are multiple kind of initiatives under that. Some of them, more just now shared with every one of us. So I'll pause here and over to the questions which you
Wonderful.
may have for me.
Wonderful. Thank you for being a great leader and initiating some of the great initiatives for IDEA from South Asia, India, and being one of the key board members of IDEA. Uh, just coming to your experience and your understanding, you have seen a lot of transition in the role of fintechs and them making a lot of economic impact, be it in embedded finance, be it in creating regulations around the fintech initiatives and things like that. So, if you can share us some interesting insights into the emerging impact of fintechs in the global majority now, and especially from your role as an association and the way you have been looking at with the interplay with the government, it would be a great idea.
No, thank you so much. I think economic contribution that fintech makes to digital economy around the world, and particularly in this part of the world, which houses around 101, 1.4 billion people, which is the population of India. So right now we have around the market size of fintech in this country is around 1.5 uh, sorry, the digital economy is around $1.5 trillion, whereas the size of fintech in India is around $145 billion, which is, many analysts have predicted that this will grow to over 1 trillion by 2030. And digital lending and payments are broad streams which are growing across the world, and also same is true for India. So that will be more than half of it. But I think the economic impact which fintech is making is through financing small businesses throughout the world. MSMEs play and sorry, the in Indian part of the world and in South Asia they call it MSMEs, whereas in Europe and Latam usually they are called SMEs. So they play an important role in strengthening a country. In India, we have around uh, 63 million, uh, yeah, 63 million, if I'm not wrong, uh, MSMEs, which provide employment to 11.3 million people and contribute roughly 45% of the exports and 30% to the GDP. And there's a huge credit gap which is there, and there are different reports. 25 to 30 trillion dollar is what official figure comes from government sources in India. And it is there where there's a role for fintech companies, especially digital lenders, to support fintech entrepreneurs, sorry, the entrepreneurs in MSMEs. And across the world, we have seen the same trend, be it Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Nepal, and other countries in Southeast Asia. Access to finance for MSMEs is a great challenge, and fintechs in their different shapes and sizes, different public, and we talked about regulations and public policies. I'll briefly for 60 seconds touch upon what we have seen across the world. The credit guarantees, bank and fintech partnerships. In this part of the world, what we call it is a co-lending, which is, when two firms, a bank and a non-bank, or a bank and an NBFC comes together, and then they co-lend to a customer. Similarly, something called, default loss guarantee programs, wherein banks and non-banks come together and then they lend to different entrepreneurs. So I think there is a great scope, and role of public policy is very important, and that's what platforms like IDEA are catalyzing, and working with different governments, working with different entrepreneurs, investors. And by the way, finally, I'll also like to highlight that India today is third largest fintech ecosystem in the world in terms of investments which it has attracted last year. Of course, there has been slight dip in investments, but that's a global phenomenon. But still, it's the third largest, ecosystem. And what we would love to see and share our experiences through different platforms like the Unified FinTech Forum and IDEA, digital public infrastructures, identity stacks, and there's a lot of like open banking account aggregators. There's a lot, but I think due to paucity of time, I'll pause here for this round. And if there's a time, I can share a little bit more. Thank you.
Superb, superb. Yes, there has been a lot of interesting initiatives in India. Now there is an Indian Banking Infrastructure Development Corporation also, which is being
Yep.
set up in line with what NPCI is doing for the payments. This organization is trying to create it for the credit, lending, SME, and transaction banking. So some such interesting initiatives are there, and it is associations like you who have been working very close to empower a lot of fintechs to get into this journey and do this wonderful work. From the regulatory perspective, what is happening, Jatinder? How are the regulators working around these kind of initiatives and taking this forward? And how are you filling the regulatory gap here? What kind of engagement is happening with the regulators as an association from your side?
No, I think overall we are very thankful that Reserve Bank of India is a very proactive regulator, and it has been recently awarded as the best regulator in the world. I think in the UK based, I think IBC or something, I don't remember, but recently it was recognized as the best regulator in the world. On regulatory front, I think the enabling framework which regulator has ushered out in the India and the consultative approach with industry and other relevant stakeholders, investors, and of course the customers. Customer protection and client centricity remains at the heart. But at the same time, I think the consultative approach is very important, which they are following up. And new technologies, sandbox approach for new ideas, rollout of wholesale and retail CBDCs in India, unified, there's a UPI, which is a retail payment system, face to face and non face to face as well. I think to put it succinctly, I think the regulator has been very proactive. They have been supportive, consultative methods, and that's what I have to say about the regulatory environment. And that is one of the key reasons why fintech ecosystem is thriving into the in Indian digital economy.
Excellent. And I'm sure that there is a lot more happening from consumer protection and customer protection perspective also, because
Absolutely,
each of this,
absolutely,
yeah, so each of these
absolutely,
technologies bring in a lot of, frauds, and at the same time, as many possibilities along with the possibilities of customer protection is also required. Great. Jatinder, thank you very much for this wonderful insights. And we will now move on to our next speaker, Mr. Lowell Campbell. Lowell has been doing a lot of interesting work in Bangladesh. So, Lowell, I have heard a lot about you. So let us now have a very short intro first, and then I will jump into the question, Lowell.
Sure, thanks, Paul. And yeah, sorry, just a little bit late. I just arrived from Dhaka, so I've just got to Bangkok from Dhaka. So good to see everybody on the call, and certainly good to have a chat to you. So yeah, I've been doing a bit of work in Bangladesh in the banking space. Previously in a previous life, I did a lot of work in Bangladesh. I lived there for a period of time. And now in the financial services sector, where certainly I'm seeing some opportunities for banks in terms of how banks can now start to future-proof themselves, how they can start to evolve. In the digitization space, we're blessed in Bangladesh with bKash, who have done an incredible job over the last numbers of years to get mobile money flowing, to get people introduced into sort of digital payments, etc. And I think now it's time for the banks and other players who are emerging, the Ubers of the world, the Patars of the world, the Food Pandas who are now in the world, the Hishabis of the world, the ShopUps of the world. There's a large ecosystem of fintechs that are emerging. There are a number of technologies that are coming to Bangladesh. There are very few countries around where you get 150 million plus population. In our neck of the woods, there appear to be a whole bunch, obviously, with India and the like. But these are good economies, and there's good opportunities, and we're certainly starting to see a lot of development coming out of Bangladesh now in terms of developers. India took the big wave in terms of getting development going over many years. You're seeing Sri Lanka sort of evolving a little bit now as well into development resources, etc. And Bangladesh is doing the same. So I think the future is bright. All these youngsters that are coming up now, and they have obviously digital needs. They've seen bKash, they've seen what's possible, and they're hungry for innovation. So hopefully we can continue that and take it forward. I think you're on mute, Rahul. There we go.
Yeah. So Bangladesh has been doing some wonderful work. I think there is a lot of echo in my voice.
Sure, let me go on mute just in case. Is it better?
Yeah. So Bangladesh has been doing some very powerful work in the area of innovations and in the area of technology, especially with financial inclusion being one of the major areas where Bangladesh has excelled in the past. And you can see some wonderful work with bKash and various other initiatives for payments in the region. So what are some of the most promising, while we have known about little of them, It would be great from your side if you can share some of the great fintech initiatives and innovations that have come in the fintech space, which have propelled the industry to the great levels from the Bangladesh market.
Thanks. So yeah, and you're 100% right. I mean, as I said, it is evolving, it is emerging, and I think when you have these robust systems that are developed off of the Bcaches of the world, it certainly does open opportunities. And you've seen this, you've seen the same from an Indian perspective. How things have opened up there. So certainly you're right from an inclusion perspective. We have the means of the world. We have a number of MFIs of the world. We've had what Bcash has done. So I think at the moment there is sort of a move to try and digitize these organizations. Not Bcash, obviously it's doing great things on its own, but the MFIs of the world, the banks of the world. So at this point in time, it feels like there's more sort of focus on the foundational elements of those institutions to realign themselves with what's going forward. Look at the old monolithic systems that they had in place, how to change it. But it's certainly not proving to be very easy. I had a long conversation with some guys from Oracle yesterday afternoon, and it's going to be it's a long path. And I think the biggest challenge that you have is how do you now convince traditional thinking in terms of banks and financial institutions that the other way is possible, because it has a knock-on effect. Because you have these fantastic fintechs like the Hishabis of the world that are doing great work with SMEs. You have the Patals of the world that have come up with the ride-hailing stuff. You have the Shop-ups of the world. You have, there's just so many of these new sort of logistics partners, fintechs that are developing. But a lot of them require support from the banking environment, because obviously everything in, if you can't do your payments through Bcash, and Bcash has been really good at enabling the ecosystem, they do need access to banks. But often what happens is the banks themselves are finding it difficult, to align with the rapid advancements that the fintechs are bringing along. So I think it's the moves are now by the banks themselves to recognize these changes, to recognize how can they right-size themselves, fix themselves in a way that they can better consume what the fintechs are bringing. So I'd like to say, while it is quite a robust fintech environment, I think it's quite nascent still. Obviously public cloud is still, from a banking perspective, is still in its early days. People are a little bit nervous about the, things like latency, etc. So I think there's a lot of, so I'm not going to say that it's like a well-advanced fintech environment. I think you just see lots of little players that are now starting to find their feet. And I think it's going to increase exponentially. I think when you start to see, obviously, last year there was a little bit of a hiccup in terms of some upheaval in the country, which may have affected some investments into these little fintechs and these things that are happening. So that may have put it back a little bit, but I don't think so. I think for me, it's a case of when larger investment funds, firms, whatever you want to call them, start to see the opportunity that 150 plus economy brings in terms of numbers of people. If you see the robust nature of, as you say, mobile money in the market, or all the ingredients are there. The growth is coming, the population is hungry, the population is very, very innovative in their thinking. So once that investment comes, I think you'll see a quick and sharp kickoff in the growth of fintechs in the country.
Superb. We may have to mute your mic because I'm of yeah. So from your understanding, I'm sure that there is a lot happening in fintech and a lot more possibilities there, especially with the small and medium businesses. Bangladesh is one of the largest exporter of textiles to the world, with a lot more small and medium businesses emerging in the country, and a lot of remittances business into the country and outside, especially in trade finance, especially in small and medium banking, business banking, which is again the heart of the businesses in most of the countries, including Bangladesh. How do you assess the readiness of South Asian countries to adopt this global digital finance standards? Because ultimately everyone is working on it.
So I think, I think the readiness, let me not say readiness, let me say willingness. I think the willingness is there. And I think willingness is, if you don't have the willingness, then the readiness doesn't necessarily help you that much. But certainly the willingness is there. And the feeling amongst almost everybody that you talk to is that this is the time to start embracing what digitization brings. You look and you rightly put it, if you look at the billions of dollars coming in from remittances, which is essentially digitized at source anyway. So if you can just follow the digitization path through, there are lots of opportunities to come. So I think if you look at South Asia in general, if you look at the large remittance markets, if you look at India, it's obviously very digitized already. If you look at Bangladesh, there is a lot of digitization, albeit via Bcash, but growing. Sri Lanka is obviously trying to do some things. Nepal is starting, and there's some great fintechs coming out of Nepal, F1 Soft and the like. So there's some really good players that are coming through, and I think what that tells me as sort of as a practitioner, if you want to call it that, is the ingredients are there. If the ingredients weren't there, we would not see this rapid growth or this rapid willingness to actually do new and innovative things. So I think absolutely the willingness is there. I think from a regulatory perspective, I think it's starting to catch up quite quickly. And I think it will start to grow exponentially. So once you got the regulation right, once you create that innovation spirit, willingness to do things, and then a couple of success stories come out, other than a Bcash as an example, you get one or two unicorns or at least close to it in a market, and people see what's happening. They start to embrace the quality of the developers that are coming out of Bangladesh. There are great companies in Bangladesh, like a Cedis, for example, that are working with European clients from Bangladesh. So they're doing all these, this development in Bangladesh for European clients. So you're seeing it go the other way as well. So I think all the ingredients are there. Are we on mute?
Superb. Thank you very much, Loel, for your wonderful conversation. Sorry, I keep the mic mute because I hear some echo once in a while. I don't know why it is. I think that was quite an interesting insight, and I know that we can go on for a lot more minutes together when we talk about the region and the kind of work and the kind of payment ecosystem that is being created between Bangladesh, between India, between Sri Lanka and the region. So I think there is a lot of interesting conversation that is happening in this corridor for payments and facilitating innovation through this corridor of South Asian countries, which is being there. And I am really happy that you could share some insights. We would probably keep connecting in the future and see how we can build stronger bridges with all the countries, important countries in the region, which have been working together, and we have all the leaders here as well. Thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.
Thanks, Babu. I appreciate it. And just the last one for me. I'm incredibly bullish on the opportunity in Bangladesh and the direction the country is taking vis-a-vis innovation in fintech. So I'm super bullish. So anybody who wants to have a chat, I'm always there. And thank you very much for the time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I have been also working with a lot of Bangladeshi friends here in Canada who have come from the payments industry there. So I keep getting a lot of insights about what is happening in the payment sector. And some of them are really very good talent who have been working in the Bcash initiatives and things like that. So it is really great.
We probably know one or two of those people you're talking about in Canada, but that's for another day.
Absolutely. We will surely connect and take it further.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now the next person in our, the next leader to talk to us will be Prasanna. Prasanna, hi, welcome to welcome to IDEA and have to this wonderful conversation. Prasanna, can we have you here on the mic?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. So Prasanna,
not sure.
welcome to this Global Majority session, and it is really a pleasure to have you. So friends, before we start the session, let us have a brief introduction about Prasanna, who has been a global leader in the blockchain space, in the digital currency space, and who has been doing some wonderful work globally. He was in Dubai last week as well. So Prasanna, can you start with a very, very brief intro of 15-20 seconds, and then we will start off with the questions. Prasanna, am we audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so please give a short intro on what you have been doing.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
hi everybody, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Babu, for inviting all of us and me also. I can see some of our friend Mr. Jatinder out here. So friends, I am Prasanna Lohar, having 25 years of experience in the banking and finance space. Primarily, I come from a tech background, and my major stint was at DCB Bank in India. And after that, I started many of those initiatives, starting from India and working closely with the banking, finance, and government ecosystem. I'm a founder of India Blockchain Forum. I'm a founder at a Global Tokenization Forum. Work very closely with the largest bank, State Bank of India, on the CBDC initiative along with the National Payment Corporation of India. And if you talk about India and the digital public infrastructure stories, I'm a part of initiation of UPI account aggregator. That's in brief. I think we'll talk more while we have. Yeah.
Super. In fact, yesterday I tried going through your profile, Prasanna, and reading across the entire organizations that are there, in your profile. It was really impressive. It took me at least 15 minutes to read the names of all the organizations that you were been associated with. So thank you very much for making it.
Thank you.
So let's jump into the CBDC story. I think Jatinder already shared a very good, insight into how India has been moving ahead in the CBDC race and trying to empower its banking ecosystem with the CBDC. So, how do you envision the rollout of CBDCs in India, and what kind of scalable model is being planned in CBDC in India right now?
It's a good. I think the story started since our honorable finance minister has announced CBDC is going to come in February 2022, while many other countries like China and Bahamas has announced their pilot phases in 2022. And we started our retail story e-rupee in September, October, post announcement of a concept paper. So that way, India was always ready for a CBDC, so-called e-rupee is the name for a CBDC of India, like yuan in China and e-naira in Nigeria. I think it's built on a hyperledger network by National Payment Corporation of India. Today we have around 19 banks working on a retail CBDC and around 14 banks on wholesale CBDC. Primarily, when you talk about the scale and the security, you can imagine how UPI is being global story in the last decade for India, and it is reaching out to 12 other nations and many more to come. So Indian CBDC is going to be a very good implementation. Why? Because it is built on existing railroads, UIDI backed Aadhaar ecosystem, where almost billions of people are a part of UIDI and UPI. When we talk about UPI, where we have around 400 million customers on UPI, and where CBDC is going to be almost billions, more than that. So that's the scale we are looking at. As far as currently it is into pilot stage, 19 banks are working on it, and largely use cases which we are driving as of now are around direct benefit transfers as a financial inclusion. So I could see that over next 2-3 years, almost all DBTs of India, which is being driven by multiple states, will come under a CBDC. Yeah. So it's a very good mandate by Reserve Bank of India and working very closely with all banks. The kind of a work which is happening, the State Bank, which we are doing, it's a phenomenal. I think that's in nutshell. Other areas which we are doing research around how programmability or offline and private nature of a CBDC will come up, where RBI keeps doing some hackathons or acceleration programs to find out or scout the tech providers who can help in this momentum under their program called as Harbinger. So this momentum will continue. Eventually, the way change requests are happening in UPI and CBDC, maybe over a period of time, both will be the same ecosystem. Even UPI is offline, and even programmability is going to come in UPI. Over a period of time, it will act as a one single app within a bank's app. Yeah.
Superb, superb. I think there has been a lot of momentum, especially any of these projects to succeed. The first and foremost is the government's participation and the mandate that has to come into the banks. And again, the willingness. And the third is, of course, the COVID kind of situation, which forced a lot of businesses to get into digital payments and things like that. But the case of digital currency, again, people are looking at programmability of digital currency, where it is interoperability between the fiat and the digital currency as well. That is another important area which many of the companies have been working around on how to make fiat to digital currency to fiat, and things like that. So organizations such as yours have been doing a considerable job. I think one of the companies with which you are associated is doing already a lot of work with State Bank of India and the region entirely on this. Now, you have also been working with blockchain initiatives in a big way, Prasanna, and I know that you are chairing the blockchain foundation as well. So, what kind of models, or what are the areas now in blockchain that are scaling up in India, and what is the benefit that we can do regionally for South Asian community with the help of this blockchain forum, as well as the CBDC kind of initiatives, where you can see a lot of collaboration and interest for it from all our partners in the South Asian majority, especially in the
Yes.
digital majority.
I think a wonderful question, Babu, and blockchain teaches us how to collaborate. Blockchain use cases are on more than 2 nodes or 3 nodes, and the success of blockchain in a consortium use cases, while banks coming together or government doing something for citizens. So I started my journey back in 2015, started India Blockchain Forum Momentum uh, 3 years back. We are a part of a national strategy of India. We are helping a lot of state governments in Orissa, Rajasthan to pick up some of those use cases like land registration, some of the direct benefit transfers, or some of the government certificate which to be issued. So if you talk about India story, largest use case is every SMS which we receive today. It's on a blockchain powered by Jio and Airtel and Vodafone and others to come in together. India CBDC is on blockchain. Other use case which I talk, which is success story for last 4 5 years, Digi Yatra, which is a seamless entry in the airports. That complete identity architecture is built on a hyperledger Indy, which is also on a blockchain. So if I divide your question into 2 areas, what's happening in India? There are 4 types of use cases. One is consortium-led use cases where banks coming together under IBDIC, like supply chain finance or invoice discounting, or healthcare coming together, or NBFCs coming together. Those consortium use cases are picking up now heavily. Other area of use cases at one organization. How can we safeguard, create a zero knowledge proof territories so that we can trace and track what's really happening at all workflows, supply chains, and so on. So that's really happening well. A third area, which is around particularly like cross-border use cases, wherein how can you do better cross-border payments, having a health or passports. So, and last but not the least, the use cases like particular domain, banking or insurance or agriculture, manufacturing. At all levels, lot of work is happening. The way you ask how other organizations in Southeast Asia can really come and participate. Few of those initiatives which we had started, can we not create a Nepal Blockchain Forum or Bangladesh Blockchain Forum or Sri Lanka and others, where this forum will strategize multiple special interest group based upon the condition of or status of that country to work on either tokenization or currencies or CBDCs or government use cases or standardization of blockchain, security aspects of blockchain. So all those best practices are ready at India Blockchain Forum, which we can narrate and over a period of time under influence of this whole forum, which we are coming up, we can keep doing some or the other sessions with all and find out some good path-breaking use cases which can really be helpful for citizens and corporates of various countries. To my knowledge, the way India is picking up after national strategy, CDAC has created their own national blockchain framework. And they are penetrating that framework at all various state governments as a standard. So India Blockchain Forum keep guiding large company like Samsung Research, where we have a couple of use cases are coming on the CBDC or sending one data from one phone to another phone. I think blockchain being a foundational technology, it will take its own time. Pace is good. While we talk a lot AI now, companies know we don't have to sell blockchain. It will be inherently will come as a safeguarding or a secure layer at all systems. Some of the work which we are doing at a central bank to enhance the current regulations. Imagine to open a bank account, it takes somewhere around 3,000 to 5,000 INR, right? How the same efforts for doing KYC at one bank can be called as a decentralized KYC, and customer gives us just consent. The same KYC can be utilized by bank B or bank C. That way we can save a lot of efforts, operational as well as it will at a national level. That's a vision our government is looking at, to build a uniform KYC. So I'm talking about one use case, and I think we'll bring on many more use cases. So these kind of brainstorming we keep doing at Reserve Bank of India. We talk about tokenization. India is coming up with some regulation on tokenization under guidance of IFSCA. And thereafter, you will see another race of how to build different products with CBDCs and regulated currencies. The way we keep seeing it coming in from JP Morgan and Citibanks and others. Eventually, banking industry is adopting that momentum also. To do that, we need a consortium, and that consortium is a very nicely built, so-called as the Indian Banking Digital Infrastructure Company. It's a consortium of banks coming together the way NPCI is led by all these banks. Similarly, we are looking forward this consortium to do a lot of use cases for this momentum. Babu, I would like to say, if any new technology comes, we always look at the skilling, reskilling part. I can say that there are colleges, IIT, IIMs who build bachelor's degrees in blockchain, like in AI. So that part is also getting solved with the Kerala Blockchain Academy, MITs, IIMs, where we are doing NIBMs, and all these are equipped with the skilling and finding those use cases. A lot of work has done by RBI Innovation Hub before formation of IBDIC to really work on all these use cases. Yeah. So it's a time is really good, and we'll see how India Blockchain Forum keep collaborating with upcoming. The way I can see, we can guide various countries to create their own forums, and we can come with that blueprint how with less cost they can really create an impact. And as we say, can we not create a currency or some kind of a standard for to do CBDC cross border among Southeast? So that also we can try it out. I think opportunity is huge. The way I see use cases, more use cases will be now cross border, not only on blockchain but and as a transformation, like the way tourism is coming up very well, how we can pick up those Digiyatra into other countries. So look forward how we can support this momentum. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Prasanna. I think you encapsulated a lot of knowledge in that 5 minutes. And I think this is itself worth a conversation of about an hour to see all those emerging ideas where these collaborations can happen either in the digital currency side or in the blockchain side. And you have been a part of various forums. iDEA itself brought in Ashish Singhal, who is the CEO of India Banking Infrastructure Development Company. Last time we had a wonderful session where we had this thought, and we are now planning to see how we can mobilize, work with the blockchain forum, work with the association by Mr. Handu also, and various other associations in different parts of the world, including countries like Bangladesh, including countries like Pakistan, including countries like Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and see how we can create a trust-based ecosystems together. So we will keep continuing this conversation, and let me now move on to Nepal, which is the next interesting place where there is a lot more activity happening, lot more innovation happening, and there is the Nepal Fintech Forum also, which is being organized in May. So let me welcome Amit Agarwal, who is the Vice President of Fintech Alliance of Nepal and a payments leader with one of the largest networks in Nepal. Amit, welcome to the show, and also share with us, a little brief about what you have been doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Babu. I'm very glad to be here and see a lot of familiar faces, Amor, Dr. Titov, and our good friend, not doctor, I'm not sure, Prasanna sir. And it was very glad listening to Mr. Powell and Prasanna sir about India and Bangladesh. I'm Amit Agarwal. I'm one of the co-founders of Khalti Digital Wallet. It's a licensed payment service provider here in Nepal, and I also serve Fintech Alliance Nepal as vice president. Yeah. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
regarding the payment landscape and the things happening in Nepal, I would like to share a few insights. Despite being a small country with a very small GDP or per capita, Nepal has done great in fintech landscape. Like we have a very small per capita, less than $3,000 a year, with a GDP of $40 billion. But Nepal being between India and China, fintech here, you'll be amazed to know that when you come to this country, you can travel almost cashless. That is a big achievement. Out of around 2 million businesses registered in Nepal, almost everyone has QR codes. In fact, a lot of small businesses who are not yet registered also have QR codes. So even if you go to a small vegetable shop or a tea shop, you can pay in those QR codes by scanning. And with regards to cross-border, and the QR codes of Nepal are already integrated with NPCI India and also Alipay Plus. So with NPCI India, you can pay in Nepal using all the apps. There are around 21 apps who are integrated with UPI, NPCI in India, like Paytm, PhonePe, Google Pay, Bhim UPI, and others. So when you come to Nepal, you can scan in our PhonePe QR codes and pay. And let me tell you, surprisingly, NPCI is currently live in 7 countries, right? Which is Bhutan, France, Mauritius, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and UAE. Out of all the 7 countries, which are even bigger markets, bigger countries, Nepal has the highest transactions in NPCI. For stats, even last month, the number of NPCI transactions in our QR codes were 72,608 transactions in just 1 month, close to 25 crore rupees. And it's just a start. In Nepal, roughly currently, there are 1 million transactions, QR code transactions every day, local transactions. Now, Alipay Plus integration has just been done by the Nepal Pay. It is now rolling out, and with Alipay Plus, like billions of users from China. I hope all of you know about Alipay Plus. They have collaborated with other apps in the region like GCash from Philippines or Touch and Go from Malaysia, and many other apps in the region, around 21 apps. So all those users can now pay in the QR codes in Nepal seamlessly. Now in Nepal, we didn't have a UPI, but the fintechs here, they build their own UPI kind of platform. So in Nepal, consumers can do real-time bank account validation. They can link their bank account into their wallets, and they can do real-time fund transfers in any bank, wallet to wallet, wallet to bank. It's interoperable. From one wallet, I can send money to any bank in real time. So the UPI kind of network was built by the fintech themselves. Similarly, like in India, you have Bharat Connect, which is like the Bharat bill payment system, where all the billers were integrated so that they can be then given to many apps. In Nepal, the fintechs, they have built their own billers net platform where all the billers can be connected and given to all the BFIs, and you can find all billers in almost all apps, all banking apps, cooperatives, finance companies, microfinance company, developers. Sorry, yeah.
Super.
That is there. And now with regards to policy, see, as a country, we need to focus on first things first, but Nepal has already come out with their AI consultation paper, P2P lending guidelines. There's a department for CBDC, and the central bank is already working on central bank digital currency, and they are like estimated to roll it out within 3 years from now. So Nepal, overall, they are doing great in terms of fintech. With regards to the digital public infrastructures, the national ID out of 30 million population, 20 million adult population have already received the national ID with all their biometrics and everything done. And obviously the kids and some people who are not in the country have not received it, but 20 million is very close to the entire population if we exclude the kids. We don't have a complete blockchain framework, but Nepal has its own form of Nagarik app, which is doing very good. Like if you go on the roads, if you do a traffic violation, you can just pay from your Nagarik app. They can scan your QR codes. You don't need to carry your driving license. So all those things are there. And lastly, now the collaboration with the regional, all the Nepali fintech companies, now they are building solutions for the global market. Many companies, they are now building solutions for the Africa, Middle East, and ASEAN regions. And the fintech solutions from Nepal are like world class and global standard, because they tried to build things in a country where there was no VC ecosystem, no large volume, very less paying customers or digital ecosystems, and all offline merchants. So that's how the fintech here struggled to bring everything online. And today Nepal can proudly say that you can travel cashless. And in coming days, I think there will be more on the blockchain with the centralized KYC. The government is already working on it, and the APIs has already been shared by the national ID. They have already shared the API with BFIs. The integration works is going on. So we see a very bright future. So that's all from the progress in Nepal. We are open for collaboration with other countries to build solutions for the global market.
Superb, superb. That is wonderful encapsulation of what you have been. And where there is a will, there is a way. This is something that I can understand from your, entire conversation here, where you have really created an ecosystem out of, nowhere. And that is a real great initiative from your side to take things forward. uh, thank you very much for sharing this. And one of the most important things that I have also noticed is a lot of Indian companies are looking at Nepal to set up their payment back offices, and a lot of companies I know of have been utilizing the talent in payment in Nepal to set up their development hubs, or integration hubs and back offices for their payment system. So a lot more collaboration coming. And in spite of being a small country like India, like Philippines, Nepal also has a lot of remittances coming inside the country, and that is, and like Bangladesh for that matter. So a lot more possibilities, a lot more opportunities in the sector, and with collaboration and integrating the system, I see a lot more possibility. uh, uh, are you already working with any of the blockchain associations as well in the region right now?
So no, currently we are not working formally with any of the blockchain associations. But yes, the CBDC thing, I was in talk with Paul also. Paul, who is also one of the board members at iDEA. I met him in Hong Kong, and uh, there are some consultation papers going around because Nepal has not done anything significant in blockchain or AI. It's in the initial stage. And one more thing, like you said, many Indian companies are now looking to open their back office in Nepal. Let me tell you, not just Indian companies, a lot of US-based companies now have their fintech work being done in Nepal. They have their back office. I know a lot of friends who are doing that from Nepal. So, for fintech talent, Nepal is the place to be. Yeah.
Superb, superb. It's a wonderful niche that you have carved out for yourself. And as the leader of the fintech sector, I see a lot of things that you can do. We should stay always in touch and see how we can explore these initiatives. Even from Banking Frontiers, we keep doing Finovity and Technovity awards and conclaves. Let us see how we can join hands together. And Prasanna is also an important part of it. And he can also be a great support. Prasanna can be a great support as such. How we can work together in creating the blockchain forum or the central bank digital currency forum or things like that. And let's take this initiative to the next level between both the countries. Thank you very much for that. And Prasanna, maybe we can all join together and have a different conversation on this.
Definitely. Thanks once again, Mr. Babu, and thank you, Amit, for such a positive gesture. And that's what I always say: together we grow. Yeah, looking forward for the collaboration. Yeah.
Superb. Superb.
So,
Thank you very much, Amit. Now let
thank
us come to Mr. Manpreet Singh. Manpreet, hi. Welcome to this session. I know we are a little late, but let us try to quickly wrap around what has been some of the interesting initiatives from your association side. You have been an Indian chamber and doing a lot of interesting work. Manpreet, are you there on the online?
Yes, yes, very much here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Indian Chamber for International Business. So your task has been always to internationalize the business in India. So let us give a get a short perspective from your side before I put on the questions to you.
Thank
A little bit about you in 15 seconds.
Of course. Thank you, Amor and IDEA and Babuji for today's forum. Well, I represent an organization called Indian Chamber of International Business, where the major mandate is to take Indian companies global and to assist anybody that's coming to India for any kind of support. Majorly, of course, SMEs, but that's the backbone of the nation. That being said, we are present in 42 countries and 14 states within India, and we bring together the platform of nearly 400 chambers and associations to come together, to work together. And it's a true case of, I would say, Vasudev Kutumbakam, where we bring the entire world together, very much like IDEA has done among 90 countries. So that's who we are and what we do. And we're looking forward to work towards the fintech collaborations, the digital. The world is digital today, whether you like it or you don't like it, you accept it or you don't accept it. It's here to stay, and it's only going to get better from here.
Superb, superb. Absolutely. And collaboration and cooperation always brings in a lot more growth, acceleration, and betterment to the society. And you have been doing a wonderful work on that. So, what sectors or what verticals do you see as a strong potential for collaboration in the global majority now in this in the in the in the world of digital transformation today? Which are the areas where you see immediate possibilities, potential, or which are on the high rating scale in terms of collaboration right now?
Well, when you talk about the global south, as we call it today, and where the majority of the world's population resides, the kind of collaborations that are coming out is truly phenomenal. When I talk about phenomenal, let's talk about something called agriculture. I won't be talking about IT and information technology because that is the backbone of this entire digital revolution. So it goes without saying that anything related to that is part of the bandwagon. But let's talk about something called agriculture, agri-tech, agri-machinery. The digital ecosystem has expanded to such an extent that a tractor is fed with information on the cloud by a farmer sitting in a different country today, which is analyzing the crop output in a third country. And a fourth country is actually preparing to sell this produce when it comes out after 3 months. So that's the kind of collaborations that is actually happening on the ground, where you are using digital technologies, satellite integration, AI and analytics to predict literal farm to market. And that is something that is going to change and revolutionize the food security and the food chain that we know of it, and the logistics industry. The second digital economy and the revolution that we see is shipping and maritime. Well, unmanned space aircrafts, yes. Unmanned aircrafts, yes. But unmanned ships and boats are the new thing, where this is being used for maritime security, used for transport. And this is a digital economy where you are actually transiting, let's say, a ship from one country to the other. And we see a future where cargo becomes floating cargo. There is a concept called your LCL, which used to be there, where you had a one pallet shipped from one country to the other country just for earlier markets, and then it becomes into container loads. So we anticipate like there will be a ship in international waters which will be floating with cargo, with digital payment ecosystems independent of a CBDC or a currency, where you are having intercurrency operability connected via satellite on this ship, which is like a floating market going from one country to the other, where you would not necessarily need a landing platform to enter a particular country, and you pick up the goods that you need and pay the duties and customs duties and taxes only for the portion that you are offloading from there. So that is something that is going to be truly revolutionizing. A few trials are going on around the world, but this is what I call truly futuristic, where you are having something of this magnitude, and something like on a small boat also. When we talk about India's outreach to the whole world, centuries ago, the traders used to load these vessels with the small trading capabilities, and that's how it used to be. And that's how India had about 35% of the world's GDP in those days, few centuries ago. And if we are able to revolutionize the same concept, where we are having unmanned cargo vessels that are traveling all over the world, which can accept multiple currencies or even barter for that matter, or settle that payment mechanisms in interoperable currencies, that would be something truly revolutionary. So that's trade, that's shipping, maritime, agriculture. One large chunk is going to be the payment mechanisms. As we see today, we see what's happening around the world. The payment mechanisms are evolving really very fast. Today we spoke about CBDC and all the other revolutionary technology that NPCI has brought in. We are using it across 4 to 6 countries now, and very soon it might be seen across BRICS also. And a lot of negotiations are going on. And then we bring this on the practical aspects. Imagine, irrespective of the country, you are having something like a digital, your phone. Anyways, your phone has most of your things now. I talk with example. There was a case about just last month where due to urgency in travel, I had to take a flight at the last moment, and I forgot my wallet at home. Can you believe that? All my ID cards, credit cards, payment cards, everything left at home. But I had my phone with me 3 days without any payment hard mechanisms, just my phone. Across countries and across cities, I was able to survive without any problems. And that's the world we are in today. So when we talk about the future, it's going to be a very different ballgame that we see.
Absolutely. I think you have highlighted some of the great areas of collaboration and gone just beyond fintech into areas of agriculture, which is again the biggest area where there is innovation required and global collaboration required. And if global collaboration happens where climate from one country at farming in the other, storage of products in the third, and distribution and supply chain in the fourth country, I think that is the real collaboration that we can speak about. And then agricultural blockchains can be a great future. So wonderful to see some of those initiatives there. And as in Indian Chamber for International Business, is there any new initiative, a quick 1 or 2 points that you would like to share, which the global majority can benefit from?
Actually, on the ground, when we talk about the fintech revolution that is happening, I think it is something, the payment mechanisms across territories. There is a challenge of payments, the commissions that banks have been traditionally taking from businesses. It is sometimes as high as 10%. Now, imagine in today's times where the margins are from 2 to 5% on volumes, a bank charging 10%, that is something that is a pinch on any small and medium businesses. So we are trying to push through fintech technologies, tying up with the fintech companies that can offer systems to SMEs which are fully compliant with the law of the land. And that is something we are looking forward. We're waiting for these companies to reach out to us, create awareness for them, speak to importers and exporters. I'm talking about goods and not services, because services, it's very easy to manage, but it's the goods part that requires more challenges. And that's something that we require the fintech revolution to change and settle payments on the fly, if I may say. So it's the blockchain technologies that would require, just like you're paying with QR and NPCI, it should be cross-border. So we are looking forward for these initiatives where we are tying up with companies can offer these platforms to importers and exporters.
Superb, superb. In fact, I can probably help you in couple of such initiatives. I am working with 2 or 3 such very, very lucrative innovators in North America as well as in India on some of these initiatives. Maybe I can share you the connections, and you can see if that works in this initiative to take it forward. A lot of scope of collaboration in payments, especially in SME payments, where there is a lot of squeezing of the SMEs today, because with the lack of transparency across the chains in terms of payments, and there is a total opaque wall in between most of these organizations where they cannot see how their payment is flowing and what are they paying in for. So let us try to capture some of these things during conversation post the session. Thank you so much, Rotarian Manpreet Singh, for your wonderful initiatives, and we will keep connecting on this on the future. And we have leaders from Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and various other such countries. So let us see how we can collaborate and create a better future. Thank you very much for this great conversation.
Thank you,
Now,
Babuji. Thank you so much.
superb. Now, I would like to move next to Mr. Sanjeev Subba. Sanjeev, welcome to this wonderful session. You have been an ecosystem builder. You have been working as a co-founder of Nepal Fintech Association, and you have been doing a lot of interesting work. Can you please share us a very quick 1 minute into the your initiatives on what you have been doing?
Thank you, Babu, initially, and thank you, Amor and IDEA, Dr. Tito, for this wonderful opportunity and thinking of Nepal, as we build our digital economy. So, on the onset, Babu, yes, I led the foundation of Fintech Alliance Nepal. And after that, AI Association has also been founded under my leadership. And I'm on way to found the now blockchain Association of Nepal. I will reach out to person separately with you. So how we can collaborate with the blockchain, Association of Nepal and between the India Blockchain Association. So I'm most of my role is within the ecosystem builder, Babu, in the fintech ecosystem. So after Fintech Alliance, AI and now blockchain, and the Kathmandu Fintech is again dedicated to the fintech ecosystem. So that's where we are hosting this Nepal Fintech Festival, Babu.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, while you speak a little bit about the Nepal FinTech Festival, which you are organizing soon, which will be of interest to a lot of us who are here from the global majority, can you also explain what are the new FinTech initiatives that you are trying to, forward it through this ecosystem of Nepal FinTech Association?
Yeah. Thank you, Babu. Actually, the one of the major interest initiative behind establishing FinTech Alliance was to bring the FinTech players together and the stakeholder together. So we managed to do that. So within the FinTech Alliance in our event, even the governor and the central bank, has, taken a lot of interest, and they also came as a, thought builder into that process. And then the whole idea is because there's some gaps into the existing ecosystem. Like I think Amit also spelled out a lot of opportunity, but having said that, there's a few gaps from the DPI stack that we are trying to build. And the FinTech Alliance has been in the forefront of advocating some of these DPI stack to the government. We've been very, supported. Our voices were heard. So we managed to do that. So as we continue to grow, there's still a lot to do. Nepal is on its way right now at the moment. What we call is we are actually, if you know the story, we are building a new Mount Everest into the country. There's a one Mount Everest with a height of 8848 with a base camp at 5,200 meters. But Nepal is already envisioning a new Mount Everest because we are bored scaling the same Mount Everest again and again. So the height of the base camp of the new Mount Everest has been already set at 515. So 515 is the base camp height of a new Mount Everest that Nepal is building, which is 515 is the $1 million that Nepal exports IT services to the rest of the world. So 51, and that is only the official figure. The informal figure is at least 2.5x. So that means Nepal is already exporting almost close to 1.5 billion worth of, IT service, including the fintech ones that Amit mentioned, right? And this is sky's the limit. So I think Amit rightly pointed out, this is where our niche, and this is where, as a young country, with a lot of Gen Z population, with small, we look small because we are sandwiched between two giants. $19 billion on our right, the economy China, and $4 trillion on left, and $19 trillion like on our right, China and India, right? So we look very small. But if you take these two countries out, the Nepal stands at around 42nd largest populated country in the world, actually, out of 200 countries. So that means there are 160 countries are by population wise smaller than Nepal in the world. That means like there's only one India and only one China, right? The rest of the countries are almost in a similar space. So, we are very young population. In South Asia, we are one of the youngest, population wise, Gen Z, and they mix, a lot of the gig workers are increasing in this country. So that is our hope and aspiration as we move forward. And a lot of initiative has been done both by the government, the private sector. I mean, people like Amit and Praveen who are powering these fintech engines from the private sector are really awesome. Our P2P and P2M products are world class. The Nepali fintech companies are powering the global fintech engines from Tanzania to Kenya to many different African countries to South Asia. I think in Myanmar, in Cambodia, and perhaps there's something going on in Vietnam. Of course, in Bangladesh, we have already started powering the Bangladeshi bank and the fintech engines. So, so Nepali companies are already going global. That is a very good news. So there's a potential, and within this, what we're doing from the Kathmandu FinTech is to play in the knowledge space. So a lot of knowledge gaps. Obviously, of course, it is. Nepal is no exception. So this is where we're trying to bridge that gap through dialogue, interaction, through L&D initiative, research, publications, and all of that, Babu. So the FinTech Festival, that is historical, the first edition, we're very excited. We're very blessed to have the received, for example, Amor, and the iDEA came forward to support it. Global FinTech, host of Global FinTech Festival is also one of the, the FCC, FinTech Convergence Council from India. They are the strong supporter of this initiative. Digital Fifth, again, the host of Bharat FinTech, they are the, the full supporter of Nepal FinTech Festival. So, and the Indian Financial Forum, IIF, is again so many well-wishers in the region. And we're expecting people to visit us from Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Maldives, and from the region, Babu. So it is looking very exciting.
Superb. As banking frontiers, as financial technology frontiers, as a media, if you require any support, do reach out to me. I am very happy to support you and probably do a short curtain raiser on your event and take it forward and publish it if you require, and
Yes.
extend all possible support to you in
No,
this.
thank you so much, Babu. That's really awesome. We need all the support that we can at this stage where, we are just starting off. we need a lot of hand holding, we need a lot of mentoring, we need a lot of support, so this is where we all grow together. I think Prasanna also rightly pointed out, like it has to be, you have to have a good karma to bring the all the good people together. So thank you
Correct.
so much.
Absolutely great. And Prasanna has been a great teacher as well. So he has been doing a lot of interesting initiatives on training and development. And from my side, if you think that we are connected to a lot of North American educational institutions, many of them are expanding themselves globally. So we can even see if some of them can extend their fintech courses to Nepal and have a cross-border kind of engagement in any of these countries for that matter. Glad to support some of the places from where I am also designing some of the courses on fintech. I can always help you collaborate with some of them. Indian Institute of Finance and couple of others. We will have a separate discussion on that. But yes, these are all the immense possibilities that are there. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
wonderful session. And let us move on to Praveen now. Praveen Regmi has also been a great leader from Nepal. And welcome, Praveen. A quick 10-second introduction from your side.
Thank you, Babu. Thank you, Sanjeev Dai, for introducing me to IDEA. Thank you, Alexander, for inviting me. Looking forward to this important discussion. My name is Praveen. I am based out of Nepal. I am currently leading iMePay, which is a digital payment company based out of Nepal in the capacity of Chief Executive Officer. And I'm also the founding president at PSP Association of Nepal and General Secretary at Fintech Alliance of Nepal. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you guys have been doing a phenomenal job, especially in the area of fintech. And I heard from Amit about some of the great initiatives about Nepal's payment infrastructure, a creation of a organic creation of an NPCI in Nepal by all the vendors and technology providers coming together and creating this ecosystem for KYC and various other things, and which how in absence of a venture capital or a very strong ecosystem to fund these initiatives, how the vendors have this thing. So how do you see the session going forward? What kind of new collaboration do you expect from Nepal?
Thank you, Babu. Actually, iMePay being a part of one of the largest business conglomerate in Nepal, operating wide range of financial and non-financial entities, ranging from commercial bank, cross-border remittance, insurance, fintech, insurtech, IT, hospitality, energy, reaching over 15 million people, which is more than half of the country's population. We have, envisaged at a unique vantage point to observe the financial need of country. So this iMePay and similar entities were introduced. So we have a large base of customer in Nepal in multi-facet businesses. So currently we are helping those people from one aspect of the business, which is mostly financing, but we want to help them with other part of the business as well through international collaborations, building communities like this. So we have been into the cross-border business since last 25 years. So collaboration and as you know, 25% of the GDP comes from the remittance industry itself in Nepal. So in the cross-border remittance space, we want to collaborate with these global companies. So this is what we are expecting. Yeah.
Superb. Superb. And from since you have been doing a lot of work in the payments and you see a lot of innovations coming out into the payment, how are you exploring to integrate remittances, micro loans, insurance, and each of these financial services into a single app? What kind of convergence is happening into the wallets?
We are taking a holistic approach here, to financial inclusion by embedding these multiple aspects that you mentioned: remittance, microloans, and insurance. Let's talk about how we are forming remittances and building digital first solution that matter to real people. For years, Nepalese migrant had only one real option to send money home through agents and money transfer operator. While this worked, it came with high fees, long settlement times, and lot of user friction. So what we thought, we bring the control back to the beneficiaries, where we launched request to pay kind of solution, in partnership with our international partners. So we partnered with few of them, and initiated a beneficiary controlled remittance platform. So currently we are partnered with Ria Money Transfer, Tunes, TerraPay, Stripe powered wallet to, so that people from here request money to the sender, and so that the money can be received, when they need, not that when sender has. So this kind of solution we are working on. Similarly, low cost fast payout channel that we are building. AI driven digital identity and KYC systems are there. Generative AI models has become like a full-time employee for IMEPay. So whatever is trending, that's what we are following.
Super, super. Great, Praveen. In fact, I would love to have a lot more conversation on you on these kind of next generation payment solutions that are happening in Nepal. And maybe there is a scope for a lot more integration between Nepal and the rest of the world using some of these kind of initiative, especially from the remittances side, because that is the green area of business in that area. So let us look at making it a big thing. Wish you all the best, and look forward to a lot more interesting innovation to come from Nepal on that. Now,
Thank you
quickly,
very much.
yes, thank you so much for being a part of it. I would like to quickly check with sharing if it is okay for you that I take the next speaker, Jasmine, since she has to leave. Otherwise, we will have to continue with sharing in case if he has a time limitation. Sharing, you are on mute, sharing. Oh, I cannot hear you. There is something wrong. Is anybody else able to hear, sharing?
No, we can't hear you.
So while Oliver helps sharing in getting the voice corrected, you may probably want to log off and log in again, sharing. That may probably help. Jasmine, thank you so much, sharing, for your support. Jasmine, can we have you on the chat, please, on the video? Jasmine,
Yes.
hi. Very good evening to you. And you have been a global leader for, empowering women in the financial services sector. And as one of the leading ladies in India who have been working towards financial inclusion and women empowerment in finance, uh, just share us a quick 10-second brief about yourself, and then we will get into the questions.
Yes, Babu. Very briefly, I'm a banker turned fintech founder. And right now, I run the company called MEET, which stands for Money Education and Innovation Tech. Worked with the finest banks in the country, and also co-founded India's first financial platform for women. I lead the Center of Excellence at Gift City right now. I head the Indian Institute of Sustainability, where we are trying to merge sustainability and finance together, and for students, for startups, etc. So that's briefly about me, Babu.
Oh, wonderful. I never knew about this recent movement of yours. I only knew about your last NBFC stint where you moved from a banking to NBFC. So wonderful to see. Great. Sometimes IDEA brings in great platforms where we can actually update ourselves as also from people whom we have been connecting on a regular basis. Great to know about your initiative about both at the Gift City for sustainability, because that is the best area to put forward, especially in this current scenario. So from your side, you have been working on financial literacy now, and how is it playing an important role in achieving equitable access across global south or global majority? Of course, you have been working on India, but you have seen a lot of countries where you have been a part of it, and especially from the sustainability, we have a sustainability chair, a ESG activity or ESG committee within IDEA as well. I am one of the chairs for that, so love to have you also as a part of it. But
Happy
can
to,
you, sorry? Yeah.
happy to collaborate. Yes, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. So, from your side, how do you see financial regulation, education, and literacy playing a role in global majority?
So I think if you look at the World Bank's global fintechs data, I think as a country, for example, India has come a long way in the last 10, 15 years from 40% to 80%, where we've seen the adoption of finance. But when we talk about equitable access, I think there is still a gap, which is not just related to gender, but also related to age, areas, urban, rural, etc. So I think those differences still exist. Also, the biggest thing that I have seen is because of the JAM framework and because of the Aadhaar and the digital identity and the digital public infrastructure, and because of mobile penetration across the interiors, where we have a situation where every household has a smartphone. I think we've come a long way taking help of technology, bringing technology and finance together and penetrating deeply in terms of access. But when it comes to usage, I think there's a wide gap, because even when we say 80% of India has a bank account, we are not very sure whether all of those accounts are active. We are not even sure whether all of those accounts have access to credit, access to insurance, access to small savings. So all of these comprehensive financial products and services, which actually mean complete financial inclusion, is something that's still lacking in the system, which I think a lot of fintechs can come in and bridge the gap.
Super.
So, at the Center of Excellence, where we are trying to bring in and promote a lot of fintechs, which can create innovative solutions to help us bridge this financial inclusion gap and take it to the unserved and the underserved segments. So that is a very important part of what we are building in GIFT City. And GIFT City itself has come out with IFI and IFIH, which is International FinTech Institute, which contributes to the education. So your question on literacy and education, Babu, we want people in our country to be not just literate or have degrees, not just financially literate, but we want them to be digitally financially literate. So the FinTech and GIFT being the first international financial services center in the country is playing a very important role in bridging this gap through education initiatives and the initiative through IFIH, which is the innovation hub, where a lot of fintechs are being invited from across the world to come in and experience GIFT City as an international hub within India, which is playing a very important role in promoting financial technology for the world. So there are a lot of benefits for fintechs who want to start up in the city and who want to set up their business, as well as for fintechs from all over the world who want to expand and penetrate into India. I think the door is open through GIFT City.
Wonderful. And would you like to have a quick take around women-led fintechs and platforms shaping the future of inclusive financial system? How are women-led platforms now coming up to create more inclusion? A quick one before we shift to sharing.
A lot of women-led startups have come up. I think there are a lot of venture funds which have specifically started for promoting women founders. Apart from that, there are a lot of accelerator programs, like, for example, the one that we had this year, Her Start, launched by none other than the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, which has been very successful. We have around 1,500 women founders applying for it and 250 women founders already a part of the program. So I see a lot of women participating in the fintech bandwagon now. And I think a lot of support, even from the financial institutions, where we have a State Bank of India giving loans at very low rates and unsecured loans to women founders. So I think the ecosystem is supportive for bringing women up the curve.
Superb, superb. So that is wonderful, and thank you very much for taking out the time.
Thank
Sorry
you.
that we are a little, behind schedule for 5 minutes, but thank you very much for making it possible. And lastly, I would like to now invite Sharing Sigai into this conversation. Sharing, thank you very much for being the most patient person to be here. And thank you very much for accommodating Jasmine into the conversation. So, sharing, first, give me a little bit brief about yourself in the in the next 15 to 20 seconds. Then we will get on.
Thank you, Mr. Nair. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me now.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm from Bhutan, and I have been in the tech sector in Bhutan for the last 20 plus years. And I started my career with Bhutan Telecom, worked with the first technology park in Bhutan. And then I was briefly in the private sector. Now I am part of the Royal Civil Service Commission, mainly looking towards digital transformation in the government sector. Mr. Nair, you are
Yeah,
on mute.
sorry.
Yeah. Mhm.
Somehow there is a little overlap in the voice because probably there are two mics on from your side. Now you may be able to hear properly. That's okay. You can just mute yourself when I am talking and then put on yourself. So, sharing, thanks for sharing your initiatives. And yes, one of the happiest countries in the world, Bhutan is. And I can see some wonderful Bhutanese cultural backgrounds behind you. It is really very impressive. So, there has been a lot of technology transformation. In fact, I was also part of the Impact FinTech Association, where I have seen a lot of friends from Bhutan as well. So, what are some of the key fintech initiatives that are happening around Bhutan, especially into the fintech and financial inclusion? With the initiatives that is established by the Royal Monetary Authority to support innovations and things like that. And I have also heard about the fintech regulatory sandbox implementation strategy in 2024. Can you highlight some of the key fintech initiatives in Bhutan now?
Yes, Mr. Nair. Firstly, when it comes to adoption of new technologies, Bhutan has been very forward-looking. We have been really, uh, pushed forward. In fact, the king has been asking all the the senior officials, the government, and the tech entrepreneurs uh, to be very forward looking. He started saying those things from around 2017, 18, and 19. So because of that, people are very forward looking and very accepting when it comes to technologies on the whole. So we have initiatives like the National Digital ID, quite a lot of e-government initiatives taking public services online and things like that. And followed by in following that, so the fintech sector has also been coming up. Um, when it comes to digital payments, I think Bhutan is probably at par with most of the advanced nation, I would say, when it comes to domestic payments. So you can go around Bhutan cashless. Even the farmers, they accept digital payments now. So, but one thing that is different in Bhutan as compared to other countries, even in South Asia, is that the mobile wallets have not been able to pick up. So because when we initially started these digital payments, it was the banking apps, and few digital wallet apps came out. I think they have not been able to make much inroads because the banking apps have become so popular. And um, uh, you mentioned the sandbox that the central bank here initiated. So under that program, uh, even things that are not currently allowed under the regulations, you can try out under that sandbox model. So, initially, Bhutan right now is also known for cryptocurrency mining. So, cryptocurrency mining initially started under the digital sandbox model. Some private employees also tried it out. And I would like to highlight one challenge that Bhutan faces right now. So, a lot of the speakers before mentioned about the services that are available in other countries, like some initiatives are met by the speakers here themselves, is the cross-border payments. So when it comes to cross-border payments, Bhutan still relies on the traditional method, which is cumbersome, bank transfer. That is what I'm talking about. So although Bhutan may not be a very huge market, I feel that there is opportunity for these ideas to come into Bhutan. This is a pain point that we have. And recently the Bhutanese diaspora, people residing outside, has increased. So there is, I think, a sizable market for international remittances as well.
Superb, superb. In fact, it would be great to explore this area of international remittances, and I'll be more than happy to share with you some of the interesting fintechs that I am working from the global side. Of course, Prasanna is also there. He would also like to share.
Yeah.
But from my side, I am working a lot with some of the interesting innovators in this part of the world, in North America, who are keen to be a part of the Asian revolution as well. I'll connect some of them. From the Indian side as well, whichever I am engaged with, I can connect. And of course, Prasanna, please take over.
Yeah, so I just wanted to express gratitude towards chasing. Like I've been part of some of those implementations in Bhutan back in 2012-13. I used to visit quite long at Thimphu and Finchling. So look forward. Someday we'll catch up soon. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you. Yeah.
Great. So, sharing the since Bhutan has been also a lot more overwhelmed, or probably at least positive from the digital currency side, and are building regulations around it, and crypto mining has been happening and things like that. There are a lot of interesting initiatives that can help for making transparent as well as frictionless and compliant digital payments, and also crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto kind of initiatives which are there globally. Some of it may be applicable to Bhutan as well, with the proper regulation, with the proper compliance and things which are happening in different important big countries in the world. So we can see how some of those collaborations can be initiated into the country, and glad to have more conversations related to that as well. Okay. So
Yes, that would be really great, Mr. Nair, and it would be very welcome.
super. Thank you very much for that. And the other initiative that I was thinking of is, since there is a rail already being built, is there a South Asian rail in which Bhutan is a part of? Like, for example, NPCI of India, or WeChat, or Alipay of China, or Nepal has its is also joining the consortium. Lanka Clear of Sri Lanka is a part of it. Bangladesh has its Bcash. What is the kind of rail or in Bhutan which is being developed for a local, and at the same time, how is it connecting to the global payment, or at least the regional payment?
So we have a domestic payment gateway that enables all the payments within Bhutan, even interbank payments going to different banks. So that are more or less seamless. But as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to cross-border payments, I'm not very sure uh, because this remains a kind of a pain point, and uh, I'm not even sure how seamless the payments between Bhutan and India is. Uh, Although we have the Rupee card introduced in Bhutan, that probably is mainly for Indians to make payments in Bhutan. But for Bhutanese making payment transfers to India, as far as I know, it still has to go through the normal RTGS.
Okay.
So I remain to be educated further on this.
Super. No problem.
Mm.
We can always explore how to create. Can we just, yeah, we can always explore how to create a seamless ecosystem. Maybe we can work with NPCI on this. We can work with some of the others, payment initiatives in South Asia. There is also a Southeast Asian ASEAN Payment Association, which is a framework that is working, which Amor can definitely help you in connecting with, and maybe I can also initiate some engagements. And we have leaders from India like Jatinder, like Prasanna, like Manpreet and others who can actually help in putting things together. I can also do my bit and connect you to the bankers and the ecosystem players in India. But we will definitely see how we can, through the IDEA Forum, take forward initiatives in empowering a better payment, global remittances perspective within Bhutan, not just for the conventional payments, but also for the digital and the even the digital payments and digital currencies or things that are coming into the world. And Bhutan has been really forward looking in this area. So wonderful to talk about it. Any of the speakers want to share any initiatives on this with sharing? It would be great. So um, let us see how Jatinder, any thoughts?
No, I think there's a lot that has already been discussed, and there's a lot of mutual learning, sharing. I think uh, I know I'm cognizant of the fact that it has been a long call, but just to add a little piece on the conversation we just you initiated, basically during the G20 presidency of India, there was a plan, and of course, the initiatives which RBI is already taking to facilitate payments corridor between countries which are in the neighboring neighborhood of India, and Bhutan seems to be one of those countries. And as far as remittance is concerned, I think there are frameworks, regulatory frameworks, which Reserve Bank has put up in place. But we'll be really happy to, put up any connections or any, help that we can do. But moreover, what I also want to, share with everyone on this call, that just like Nepal is coming up with the fintech association, and there has been some learning that we have in India over last 8 to 10 years. We're the largest and the oldest, probably, fintech association, which regularly, engages with government and regulator, putting up a code of conduct for fintech players, and eventually putting up a self-regulatory regime. So we'll be very happy to share our experiences and learnings. Happy to connect. So I'll pause here because, as I said, already it has been a
Yeah.
long call, and in many countries it has been already a little, especially Hong Kong
Yes.
must be
Yeah, it is
a late
9:40.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for wonderful sharing during the conversation. And I know Idea Conversations has a big, long panel, and it is often very difficult to have a meaningful time given to each one of us. But at least in whatever time frame we have extended by 15 to 18 minutes now. So thank you very much, everyone, for this wonderful conversation, and we look forward to a lot more collaboration. This collaboration is what IDEA stands for, and we should come out with emerging ideas, work on those ideas. It is not just great enough to dream, but also work on those dreams and make those dreams successful. And that is where we will take all these things together. Thank you very much, everyone, for your wonderful collaboration. And we look
Thank you.
forward to a lot more such conversations with you in the future, and invite you all into our future sessions as well. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Amor. And thank you, Oliver, who has been in the background to support us in a big way. A big thanks to all of you to be a part of this, and accept me to do this moderation and have this conversation with all of you. Thank you very much.
So thanks everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Babu.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Have a good night, all of you.
Good night.
And you have a good day.